Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tall Amboy.
And I'm Azure Mitchell. The suspect in the murder of a New Mexico State police officer is behind bars this evening. Jeremy Alexander Smith was arrested Sunday in Albuquerque.
He's accused of killing Officer Justin Hare on Friday morning at about 5 o'clock, just west of Tucumcari West on Interstate 40. Smith is facing 8 charges, including first-degree murder, armed robbery, and tampering with evidence. Police say he's also accused of other crimes in South Carolina, including the murder of a paramedic and taking hostages, as well as rioting and burglary. Now that Jeremy Smith is in custody, police are telling us how he was located and captured.
Alyssa Munoz has that report from Albuquerque.
Deputies got a call from a worker at Murphy's Express on Unser saying they sold cigarettes to someone that fit Smith's description, the suspect wanted for the death of New Mexico State police officer Justin Hare. This tip led BCSO deputies into a foot chase with Smith in a nearby neighborhood.
The cop came and she's all, get inside, we have a suspect.
A neighbor says he heard the gunshots in his backyard and also saw police surrounding the area.
I heard gunshots and it came from my backyard, so my immediate reaction was I grabbed my gun and I went running outside.
Shots were fired. Some shots strike Smith. We don't know the amount right now or how many. That's still under investigation. But Smith was then taken into custody without further incident.
Police say Smith was taken to a hospital and no deputies were hurt. Now they say the law enforcement community can turn their thoughts to the 3 officers killed in New Mexico within the last 9 months.
While our work is not done here, this now gives us the opportunity to take the time to start grieving the loss of our officer.
The weather has been nice here lately.
Yes, it has, Azure. What can you tell us about that, Sam?
What I can tell you is about these current conditions right now. We are seeing these skies at mostly cloudy. The temperature is 67 degrees right now. The wind's moving west at 7 miles per hour. The humidity is at 26% right now, and that dew point is sitting at 31 degrees. The barometer is hovering at 29.87 inches. Today we had a high of 72 degrees, which is just above the average of 71 for today. Low at 45 degrees tonight. And in 2017, we had a high of 86 degrees. 40 years before that, in 1977, a low of 26 degrees. Today, we didn't have any rainfall, so don't expect any rain tonight. And that leaves our yearly rainfall at the same at 0.73 inches. That's all I've got for your first look at the weather. Back to the desk.
Texas has scored a big, though temporary, victory on immigration. The Supreme Court cleared the way for state officials to begin enforcing a controversial immigration law known as SB 4. It allows them to arrest and detain people they suspect of entering the state illegally. Critics point to racial profiling problems with the law in a state where 40% of the population is Latino. Tuesday's decision only allows enforcement of the law while legal challenges to it continue in a lower federal appeals court. Former Otero County Commissioner Coy Griffin will not be allowed to run for office ever again. That's what the U.S. Supreme Court has decided yesterday. Griffin, who founded the group Cowboys for Trump, was removed from office in 2022 for actions on January 6th. The U.S. Supreme Court declined to take the case, so the state decision stands. He was the first elected official kicked out of office under the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban.
A former top official at NMSU has reached a settlement in a lawsuit against the university. Former Provost Carol Parker said the administration used her as a scapegoat for unpopular administrative decisions. She says her reputation was compromised and she was fired before she had due process. The university agreed to pay her almost $500,000, but did not admit to any wrongdoing.
By the summer of 2025, the city of Las Cruces expects senior citizens will be able to move into a new housing complex.
Last Monday, March 11th, Mayor Eric Enriquez, as well as other city officials, broke ground on the Padrina apartments. The complex at the northeast corner of El Paseo Road and Farney Lane will have 80 apartments of either 1 or 2 bedrooms.
This property in particular has been vacant for a really long time. As you can see, there's an abandoned house on it, and so that will be coming down. So the city is really excited for this revitalization opportunity along the El Paseo corridor, which has
The apartments are for single people aged 55 and over who make $27,000 or less a year. For couples, the threshold is $31,000 a year. Construction is scheduled to end in the summer of 2025. On Thursday, initial filings for unemployment benefits in New Mexico rose. The U.S. Department of Labor stated that the U.S. unemployment claims went down by 1,000 last week. Oregon saw the largest percentage increase in weekly claims, while New Hampshire saw the highest drop.
NMSU seniors are looking for jobs once they graduate in May. Today, the Office of Experiential Learning held its 20th annual Employment Extravaganza Fair. Business, police departments, and all sorts of other organizations gathered on the third floor of the Corbett Center, and students came in hoping to find the start of their career.
Some jobs are pretty interesting right now, and it makes you do want to apply for it.
You know, we want people to be able to protect the family farm or the family ranch, and so that's one of the reasons we like to recruit those folks.
You know, it's becoming harder and harder for people who want to become law enforcement officers. It's not the process isn't getting harder, but it's just it's harder to reach individuals because it's not really enticing to become a police officer nowadays.
In addition to career fairs, the Student Success Center offers assistance with resume review and how to prepare for an interview.
Stay tuned. Sam will be back with your national weather forecast.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. March is Women's History Month, and Friday, March 8th was the most special day of the month. It was International Women's Day. It was also Latina Week, so the Chicano programs here at NMSU hosted events to celebrate. Students made signs that reflected the injustices, fears, and acts of violence against women. The students then walked to Milton Hall for a documentary about Marisela Escobedo, who became an activist after her daughter was murdered in Juarez.
The lack of information and just the lack of care is something that we really suffer from here. So I felt like choosing this specific documentary, we would be able to show something that happened very close to here in Juarez.
The Chicano Student Program has other events planned for a month, including a Justice and Revolutionary Thought Conference next Tuesday.
You can now order birth control pills online. The online sales began yesterday for the first over-the-counter birth control pill approved in the U.S. O-Pill can be bought directly from its own website and Amazon. Some major retail pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens say they will offer O-Pill once they receive their shipments. The price is expected to be $20 for a 1-month supply and $50 for a 3-month supply.
And now we go to weather.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at my first national map. All right, as you can see here, we're seeing some extreme contrasts in temperature from the north to the south. Down here, if you look at the south, they're having some pretty lovely spring temperatures, which is pretty appropriate for the equinox today. But if you look over at the northern Rockies, we're seeing some pretty extremely cold temperatures, colder than average. And they're saying that they might even see some single digits or temperatures in the teens over here on the Canadian border. Now, if you want to take a look at my next map. All right, so what we're looking at here is a weather system that has been lingering in the southwest all weekend. And usually it would be going a little bit faster, but it seems to have been cut off from the wind stream that would usually take it east in just a matter of days. Now, it's going to be lingering again tomorrow, but as we move on into the weekend, into Friday, we're going to start to see it move east, and it's going to bring some rain and some rain into parts of Texas and into the lower Mississippi area. Now that's all I've got for your national maps, but I'll be back with your local temperatures after the break. All right, so for your local temperatures today, in Farmington it's 56 degrees, in Santa Fe 49, in Gallup 47, in Albuquerque it's 56 degrees right now, Socorro 57, in Roswell a high of 66, Las Cruces 67, and Deming 66. Now tomorrow, we're going to be seeing an increase in temperature. It's going to be 63 in Farmington, 54 in Santa Fe, 55 in Gallup. In Albuquerque, it's going to be 64 degrees. In Clovis, 68. In Socorro, 64. In Roswell, 72. Down here in Las Cruces, it's going to be 71 degrees. And in Deming, 67 degrees tomorrow. In Alamogordo tonight, we've got clear skies. It's going to be a low of 44 tonight, and tomorrow a high of 68 with partly cloudy skies. In Truth or Consequences tonight, it's going to be 39 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, we're going to be seeing a high of 68 degrees, but some very cloudy skies tomorrow in TRC. In Silver City tonight, we've got 35 degrees is that low, and it's going to be pretty cloudy tonight. Tomorrow, it's going to be a high of 60 and very cloudy. Now back here in Las Cruces, we're going to have a low of 45 degrees tonight with some clear skies. Tomorrow it's going to be a high of 71. Expect some partly cloudy skies. That's all for your local temperatures. Now back to the desk.
And Jose is next with sports.
Thanks, Azure. Coming up in sports, NMSU softball looks to build on their winning ways at home this weekend. You can toss that remote because News22 Sports is next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Munoz and let's talk sports. NMSU softball is looking forward to this weekend hosting I-10 rival UTEP for a weekend slate. The Aggies are coming off a clean sweep on the road against Sam Houston, winning 6-2 on Friday, 5-4 on Saturday, and 1-0 on Sunday, as Desiree Spearman earns a third CUSA Freshman of the Week, marking the first Aggie to win the award 3+ times in the season since 2015. The Aggies return back home with matchups starting Friday and Saturday at 6 and Sunday at 1. The NMSU men's basketball season has come to an end after getting steamrolled in the Conference USA tournament. The first season in CUSA, the Aggies' record ended 13-19 and 7-9 in conference play. Ending the season with a win against FIU leading into tournament play, the Aggies matched up against Western Kentucky and lost in the quarterfinals, losing to the Hilltoppers 89-69. Ending their chance at a March Madness run. On the other hand, the Hilltoppers went on to win the conference tournament and punch their ticket to the March Madness tournament. On to more basketball, the NMSU women's basketball comes to a bittersweet end in the Conference USA tournament. After year one in the Conference USA, the Aggies' record ended with a 13-18 and 6-10 in conference play, as the Aggies matched up against FIU in the quarterfinals, ending in a 63-58 win, advancing to play Liberty in the semifinals. The Lady Flames stayed hot from three, leading to the Aggies' defeat 82-70, ending their hopes at a title and a ticket to March Madness. Moving on to high school basketball playoffs, Oregon Mountain had its eyes on a rematch with Volcano Vista, the only team to beat them, but Albuquerque High still in the way in the semifinals. As the Bulldogs were out and running, trying to get the Knights off their game, but the Knights did not budge and ran a slow postgame, feeding their big man Brandon Quirez with a double-double, 20 points and 15 rebounds, with another contributor, Yenny Wilson, 18 points and 4 steals, leading to a 56-47 win and a rematch with Volcano Vista in the final. After the win, Oregon Mountain got their rematch with Volcano Vista. Could the Knights avenge their only loss? No. In the first quarter, the Knights were holding their own, but went ice cold, and the Hawks again once dominated the time of possession in a defensive game, shutting down Quirez and not letting up, ending in a 47-34 win and raising a state title, their third championship in a row, cementing a dynasty. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Sam will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast.
Let's take a look at our top stories.
The suspect in the murder of a New Mexico State police officer, Justin Hare, is behind bars this evening. The Office of Experiential Learning held its 20th annual Employment Extravaganza Fair for NMSU seniors. And March 8th was International Women's Day. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast.
All right, expect mostly sunny skies the next couple of days in the widespread 70s. It'll be warming up this weekend, hitting 82 degrees on Saturday. Continue to expect some breezy days this week, especially on Sunday, which might get a little bit gloomy. That's all for your 5-day forecast. Now back to the desk.
And that's all for News 22 Tuesday. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Tune in tomorrow night for more news. I'm Tal Lamboy.
And I'm Azure Mitchell. And from the News 22 team, Tal, Sam, Jose, and myself, good night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Gustavo Escobar y bienvenidos a Noticias 22. El funeral para el oficial de la Policía Estatal de Nuevo México será la semana que entra en la iglesia Legacy en Albuquerque, Nuevo México. El oficial Justin Hare falleció el pasado viernes el 15 de marzo alrededor de las 5 de la mañana, respondiendo a una llamada de auxilio en la Interestatal 40, cerca de Tucumcari, Nuevo México. La llamada era para una automovilística en un BMW blanco que tenía un neumático ponchado. Cuando el agente Hare llegó, se estacionó detrás del BMW y el sospechoso de 32 años, identificado como Jeremy Alexander Smith, de Carolina del Sur, salió del vehículo y se acercó a la ventanilla del agente Hare sin aviso. Smith sacó la arma de fuego y le disparó varias veces al agente Hare. Smith entonces empujó al oficial Hare en el asiento pasajero y manejó la unidad del policía. El sospechoso, Jeremy Smith, fue capturado este pasado domingo después de una persecución y un tiroteo con los alguaciles del condado de Bernalillo. Smith tiene un historial delictivo y también es la persona interesada en el asesinato de la paramédica de Carolina del Sur, Fenecia Machado Fore. Gracias por acompañarnos y muy buenas noches.